It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You are live with Expresso. Thank you so much for tuning in. We absolutely love having you around. It's been a great Friday, but no Friday is complete without a daily tech update with our expert tennis, Janssen van Rensburg, where we look at some of the most interesting stories from across the world of science and human and nature
Exactly,
and
all over the
prehistoric
story, yeah.
history. And this is a really cool lineup you've got for us this morning. Let's start with something that really does hit home. I think for both of us being relatively new parents, new to the game at least, when it comes to premature babies and the complications that can arise out of a baby being welcomed to the world too early, this first story is amazing. An artificial womb.
An artificial womb. So the technology has come a really far way in the last decade. So essentially one of the biggest reasons for mortality for young babies, are being prematurely born. And because of various reasons, environmental or otherwise, we're seeing more and more babies being born prematurely. So these researchers wanted to find a way to obviously save these children that are being born as early as 24 weeks, which is just over the halfway mark for expecting mothers. And what they've done is they've now built an artificial womb, an artificial placenta, and they've started testing it with lambs. So now they are able to bring these lambs, they save them, and they're able to grow them almost to the gestation period, which is just amazing technology.
I mean, this is why science actually does exist. And
exactly, it's there to make all of our lives better. And I mean, just to think that, I mean, there was no way that this fetus would have survived. And if we can somehow, and in the future, obviously the plan is to transfer this to moms.
Do they have an idea of when this will go to?
Look, it's difficult, obviously, with things that affect people directly. The testing period. It will be stretched out a little bit, but it's thought within the next decade. This is technology that we have access to.
Like prematurely born babies are fighters, but they do need a little help. So we absolutely love that. So let's take it way back. In fact, 30 years just to study this skull that is presumably millions of years old.
66 million.
Oh, is he the biggest? Is this T-Rex the biggest? Is he the boss, the main name of all T-Rexes?
Yeah, we just had to mention this because it's been a long time coming, and now we have discovered the biggest T-Rex ever. So you can imagine, the T-Rex has always been the king of the monsters.
Yeah, man.
and now they've discovered this T-Rex, which is imagine that iconic scene in Jurassic Park, running behind that Jeep. Imagine that thing was 15% to 20% bigger in that scene.
For one, Steven Spielberg wasn't the over-sensationalized view. That is crazy.
Yeah, so
man.
they became a lot bigger than we initially thought, and the reason is because these predatory dinosaurs generally only lived to about 15 to 20 years, but this one that they discovered came to the ripe old age of 40 years, which is why it grew so big.
Just never stopped eating. And then very, very finally, a foldable smartphone. What on earth, man?
2019 is the year of the foldable smartphone, definitely. It's going to be very exciting for all of us tech geeks.
Is it a tablet? Is it a phone? What is it?
It's both. So yes, we've gotten some new information from Samsung regarding the Galaxy Fold, and they've released this footage that you can fold this thing over and over and over again, and it won't break. So that's obviously the biggest concern for a lot of people is how are these things going to last for a couple of years while you're using it? And they've released this footage where they've done the fold thousands of times with no no issues.
It does make you nervous though, just looking at it. Doesn't it make it? Every fiber of my being is going, don't break your phone, dude, don't break your phone.
Well, this makes me feel a lot better, right?
Yeah,
I mean, if they're not breaking after 10 folds, I mean...
And yeah, we thought tablets were obsolete. They were just entering a new chrysalis and are about to be reborn.
Yeah, we didn't know that we needed both in our pockets.
Oh, it's crazy. Well, you do now. Truly inspiring stuff, dude. Thank you so much for bringing those stories to us.
Thanks, Ray.
That's what's going on, or at least what we're tracking in the world of tech, of science, of nature, of prehistoric nature. It's all going down. You can let us know what stories have got your attention on our social media pages. But right now, let's bring it back to the here and now with those news headlines.